Good morning. My name is Benjamin. Today, my group and I will be sharing about our research on the prevalence of vape usage in the lives of youths in order to deepen our understanding on the key concepts and applications of psychology. Firstly, we'll be sharing about the key factors that drives youths to using vapes. Next up, our background and secondary research on the prevalence of vape usage by youths, followed by the psychological approaches that explain why these problems still exist today, and lastly, our proposed solution in order to hopefully help us resolve this issue and help us move forward. Our problem statement states that vaping has become prevalent among youths due to peer pressure and social media influence. But we wonder why. We also wonder whether these issues are the only factors that contribute. However, before diving deeper, let us better understand the importance of peer pressure and social media influence in this issue. As for peer pressure, we wonder why are more youths of the current generation turning to vape? Is it due to the stress of meeting standards and expectations set on them? Moreover, they are also aware of the effects of vaping. However, they still turn to using vapes. Hence, we wish to be able to better understand what are the leading causes that result in youths turning to vapes in order to hopefully help our youths and our peers change for the better. As for social media is an integral part of youths' lives, significantly shaping their behaviors and choices. Vaping is often glamorized on social media platforms. Moreover, with increasing digital engagement, it is essential to explore how the persuasive power of social media contributes to risky health behaviors like vaping done by youths. Now that we better understand the importance of these factors, let's dive deeper and explore why these factors influence youths. Our research revealed that these factors play a role in vape prevalence among youths, but there are also another two factors that contribute to the issue too, those being misconceptions about vapes and the flavors of vapes. Milia will now be sharing more about these factors and their role that it plays in the issue.
Thank you, Benjamin. I am Milia, and today I'll be telling you about our background research on peer pressure and the flavors of vapes. More of the current generation youths are turning to the usage of vapes. But why? Is it to cope with increasing pressure and growing expectations set on them? Or just for the fun of it? Well, many youths have friends who vape and often do it openly around others. This changes many people's perspective and causes them to think that vaping is cool and that they need to vape to fit in. The desire to look cool and fit in with their group of friends dilutes the minds of the youths and makes them turn to the usage of vapes. Next, flavors of vapes. Many vapes that are sold now have an extensive selection of flavors, which makes them more appealing to youths. As a result, many of them choose to experiment with different flavors, which enhances the overall experience and increases the likelihood of their continued use. The diverse range of flavors plays a significant role in attracting young people to vape, as they create a more enjoyable experience compared to the cigarette taste. Next, Yat will be telling you more about our background research.
So, thank you, Melia. I am Yad, and I'll be talking about the last two key factors. So, social media plays a major role in the rise of vaping among youth. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok repeatedly exposes young users to pro vaping content, making vaping seems normal and even trendy. Online communities and forums create a space where vaping culture thrives, making it easier for young people to engage in and encourage the habit. Influencers also contribute to this trend. How? Well, they will actually promote vaping products without any clear disclosure, blurring the lines between personal preference and paid advertisements. Peer influence is also another key factor in social media as well, as social media amplifies validation through likes, shares, and comment, reinforcing vaping behavior among youth. This cycle makes it harder for youth to resist the trend as they see vaping as something socially accepted or even desirable. So, moving on to our last conception, one major reasons why youth continue to vape is the misconception that vapes are safer than cigarettes. Many assume that vaping have no harmful effects because their friend seems fine using it. However, studies shows otherwise, proving that vapes are not a safe alternative. Misinformation also leads to the lack of concern about the long-term health risks of vapes. That's why proper education is crucial. Teaching youth about the dangers of vaping and how it can just be as harmful as smoking can discourage them from picking up the habits. By addressing these misconceptions, we can empower youth to make informed choices and avoid the risk associated with vaping. Now that I'm done my part, I'll be passing my time on to Jade to talk about our secondary research. Thank you.
Thank you, Yat. So now I'll be presenting our secondary research. For our secondary research, we actually interviewed a youth who smokes and vapes. We have given them the name Jack to hide their identity. When we asked Jack why they started to smoke or vape, they said that smoking has become both a stress response and a deeply ingrained habit that, over time, has become something that they automatically turn to whenever they feel overwhelmed or anxious, almost like a reflex or second nature. And when we asked them to elaborate further on why, they said that it's not just about the nicotine rush, it's the entire process that feels comforting to them. The act of reaching for a cigarette, lighting it, and holding something in their hand and mouth has become somewhat of a ritual. It provides a sense of familiarity and control, making it harder to break the habit, even when they know the downsides. This just goes to show that youths who are not able to cope with their stress anymore might turn to vaping or smoking, as they might think that they cannot control what makes them stressed anymore. So now passing the time to Qian Hui, who will be presenting the psychological factors of why youths might start vaping.
Thank you, Jack. Now, we will be discussing the psychological approach to understanding why youths engage in vaping, despite its known risks and legal consequences. We will explore through social psychology and abnormal psychology perspectives. Firstly, from a social psychology perspective, we see that groupthink plays a significant role. This happens when individuals prioritize group cohesion over logical decision-making. In this case, youths may succumb to peer pressure because they do not want to be seen as a party pooper. Even though vaping is illegal in Singapore and has serious health issues, they might still do it to avoid conflicts with their social circles. Many believe that their friends will be with them long term, making it so they choose Thank you, Jet. Thank you, Jet. I am Qian Hui, and now we will be discussing the psychological approach to understanding why youths engage in vaping despite its known risks and legal consequences. We will explore through social psychology and abnormal psychology perspectives. Firstly, from a social psychology perspective, we see that groupthink plays a significant role. This happens when individuals prioritize group cohesion over logical decision-making. In this case, youths may succumb to peer pressure because they do not want to be seen as a party pooper. Even though vaping is illegal in Singapore and has serious health risks, they might still do it to avoid conflicts within their social circles. Many believe that their friends will be with them long term, so they may choose group acceptance over personal health. This highlights how social pressure can override rational thinking, making it difficult for individuals to say no even when they know the risks. Now, let's look at it from an abnormal psychology perspective, focusing on adolescent development. According to Erikson's psychosocial development theory, adolescence is a stage of identity versus role confusion. At this stage, young people explore different identities, and social media often influences these choices. Exposure to vaping content online can make it seem trendy, leading to youths wanting to adopt it as part of their identity. Piaget cognitive development theory explains that during the formal operational stages around age 12, adolescents can think abstractly but still struggle to evaluate risks properly. Social media often portrays vaping as harmless or cool. Vaping. Finally, Erikson and other psychologists emphasize the influence of social relationships in shaping identity. Social media amplifies peer pressure, making young people more vulnerable to trends like vaping. Adolescents are naturally risk takers, and online exposure can serve as a catalyst for experimentation. Amsha will now be presenting the rest of our findings. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Lala for handing me over for my part in this presentation. I'd like to talk about the solution. The solution have three categories: the social circle, social media, and the school workshop. Let's talk about social circle. Social circle, we can change the group of friends that peer pressure you directly or indirectly to give in to vapes, as this is linked to social psychology as you are trying to fit in. For the social media part, we can make use of social media by our platform by showing the negative impact of vapes in our daily health or the consequences. Or the youth can press the not interested button whenever they encounter a vape advertisement with more related ads from popping up, which can turn to reduce curiosity and craving. For the school workshop part, the school should hold engaging sessions where ex-vapers share their struggles or liaise with organizations to give interactive talks for students. And go to the next page about the conclusion. So in conclusion, in general, sometimes it's not about the nicotine rush that keeps them addicted. Initially, they turn to vape to relieve stress, but as time passed, it became habit to vape. And due to this habit, it grew deeply ingrained that whenever they felt pressure/stress, they succumb to vapes. They also see that people that are influenced by do not have negative side effect, as they didn't see any they have like lung cancer or anything, which caused them to say, there's no negative side effect, so why not? Humans have natural desire to follow behaviors they witness, especially when they are youth and their identity is yet to be developed, as they are still trying to find themselves. If vaping is perceived as a common or cool activity within a peer group, individuals may feel pressure to follow suit even if they initially had no interest in trying vapes. That's part of our conclusion. So I'd like to thank everyone, my team and you teacher for listening to our presentation, as this is the end. Hope you have enjoyed what we have come up with or research in this topic that we came up with. Thank you.